who join us later. So thank you. So if you don't want to be part of the webinar that will be published, yes, you can just turn on your video and to feel, let's say, more comfortable. Yes, just know that it will be published in the internet. Yes, and if you don't want to be with video, it's totally okay. Just don't put the camera in, that's all. Okay, so we will speak today with you about, first of all, our project, how it is going, like in general, what is our goal to be here? Why do we meet on Wednesday evening all together? Like what is going on? What is this project? How it is connected with Erasmus Plus? Yes, it will be just a short, let's say, recap for those who didn't know before, for new people here. Also, maybe new information, some new information for people that are already part of the project. Yes. And after that, after like 10, 15 minutes talking about the project, Ariadna, hello, we will speak with you about management for youth communities.
Hi.
So this will be the main topic of our webinar. We will have 5 international speakers today that will present their subtopics about management and especially about management for youth. That's the plan for today. Any questions? No question. Such a pity. I wanted to speak with someone. Okay, so in this case, just an introduction. What is this webinar? Why are we here? Yes, I think majority of you already know that we are, yes, part of the project Young Community Organizers. Young Community Organizers is a project that was applied, I think, 2-3 years ago to the Erasmus Plus funding in order to receive funds to organize educational activities for young people to learn about community organizing. What is community organizers? So basically how to improve something in your local level for young people, how to make something better for you, yes, and for people around you, to create an initiative, I don't know, maybe even a strike, a youth center, and some other activities. So we applied for this project, Young Community Organizers. Erasmus Plus said, yes, we like an idea, let's do it. And together with Young Effect, yes, who was an applicant, and 4 amazing partners that you will meet each of them today during the sessions from Turkey, Romania, Bulgaria, and Spain. Yes, it was implemented, the project that contained, first of all, 3 training courses. So 3 mobilities in Italy, Romania, and Turkey, where young people learned and discuss subtopics of young community organizers. First of all, it was Italy, where we spoke in general, what is young community. Then it was Romania, where we were speaking about coaching, what is coaching and how community organizer can use it. And then it was Turkey to speak about leadership and to create materials that we can share with the others. So 3 mobilities, part of young community organizers. But in the project was much bigger than just 3 mobilities. It also included some more tangible things, for example, 2 manuals. So during these 2 years of work for young community organizers, except mobilities abroad, we wrote, yes, together with the trainers, with the partners, 2 books that you can also find. We will then send a link in your native languages, because all the books are translated from English and in Turkish and in Romanian, in those languages. Books about community organizers and coaching. Then 2 webinars. First webinar was about leadership. Yes, it was in August, 2nd, 3rd August, when we spoke about leadership. And now is the 2nd webinar of this big 2 years project. The last part is massive open online course. So basically we are creating a big online website with video lessons about community organizers. And I think some of you will be able to find soon on these platforms videos where you speak and present community organizers. Yes, so this is a project. It consists 3 training courses, 2 books, 2 webinars, and online platform. So a lot of work. What was the goals of these trainings, books, webinars? So the objectives, the goals of the projects is to give skills to young people to identify some worries, some problems in your local level next to you. For example, maybe someone didn't have a place where to go out, like a youth center where to meet. Some young people was struggling with gangsters near and so on. So how to identify and accept that there is some problem that young people are dealing with, and how to help, how to support young people to solve this problem, to help them to find resources and, let's say, energy to do it. So yes, to identify problems, to give the skills to young people that were participating in the training courses and so on, to give the skills how to solve this problem, yes, and to create positive impact on the local level for young people. That is the main objectives of the program of 2 years. Any questions? No. So the 2 years, last thing that I will say about the project, our 2 years are practically finished. Yes, we are missing only this webinar today. So we already did all 3 training courses, wrote already 2 manuals and translated them. Today is the second webinar, and the only, no, I cannot say small, it's a big part actually, yes, MOOC online platform, but the last piece of the puzzle of this big project is online training course, online platform website that will be done until New Year. So also around 2 months, and then we will see an outcome, how many people we succeeded to teach about community organizers and which actions were created on a local level. Okay, so what do we do today with our webinar about management and young communities? What we will discuss today. So we started at 3 Italian time. Everything is in Italian time with introduction with Young Effect. That's us. Here, me, Tiziano, and Victoria also here. Yes, introduction to the topic, to the project. Then we will go to Adelina with roles, tasks, and functions. Yes, and people, different approaches to management. Yes. After that, we will have directly Kalo from Bulgarian Mladersky Forum, understanding the concept of circle of competences and hierarchical. I was practicing before the webinar to pronounce hierarchical, but it didn't help, it seems. Structure in management. Yes, so we will have introduction now, then Adelina 1 session and Carlos the second one, and after that a small break, maybe 10-15 minutes, so you would able to run to your kitchen to take a cup of tea, coffee, glass of wine if you're in Italy. Yes, and after 10-15 minutes, we are back to Yalchin and his session about decision-making and problem-solving mechanisms. And after that, in 45 minutes, like each session, more or less 45 minutes, will be last session with Jorge, yes, from Spain, about coaching organizational management in horizontal leadership. Yes, and after this, a conclusion. Yes, so we will try to be effective, interesting, yes, and to make this time as productive as possible, as Wednesday evening, but we will enjoy, I'm sure. So this is a program of the webinar, introduction and warm up with us, with Young Effect, and then 4 sessions around 45 minutes each. We will have small break for a cup of coffee, okay? Yes, of course. Okay. So in this case, let's start. Yes, let's start with some introduction to the topic, some small warm up. Yes, to management for youth community. I prepared for you a small situation I would like you now to read it. There are just 5-7 sentences, and then we will discuss it. And it will be our introduction. Okay? Okay, perfect. So the situation, I think it will be better if you just read it in your head. For example, I cannot listen when someone is reading out loud. Just read it 2 minutes, and then we will discuss. Ready? So we have a problem. We live in a city. By the way, it's a real problem. It's a problem from the city where I lived for some time. So like, let's see if we will find the same solution if it was in the real life. Maybe I hope something better. So we live in a city X with a population of 36,000 people. Like, Tiziana, what is the population of Magenta? Is it the same? Is it bigger?
It's only 25,000, but much worse reputation.
Okay, so a little bit bigger than Magenta. So a small city, 36,000. From this 36,000, practically 15,000 people are youth. The only place where young people can like meet, spend time together, hang out, is a small cinema entertainment center. So like a cinema park with a small area like to play this, not casino, but I don't know how they call it in English, like some cars, yes, like table tennis and so on. So like small place where young people can hang out. And it was for some time until like a local gang started to go out there all the time. So it became their place of meeting. Every day there, same people with the same behavior. So they were like hanging out, like wasting time, smoking there, drinking there, so bad influence. And turned out that young people after that couldn't go there anymore. They just didn't want, they didn't feel comfortable. And there is no other place. So the question is, in these situations, first of all, which issues in the city or in general you would name, identify? Which issues can we goes into your mind? Like what attracts your attention?
Well, I can say that first of all, it's the fact that there is only one place to meet. Lack of places where to meet.
Lack of places where to meet, okay. Something else?
I also want to add that there is less social activities also. Apart from the cinema, I mean.
No, social activities, only one place. The city is quite...
And only cinema.
Something else? Come on, there is one, at least one more.
Well, the fact that there are local gangsters.
Yeah, there are gangsters for some reason. Okay, so we can stop here. Then you will come up with something else. Yes, just point it out. So yes, there are gangsters that are drinking and smoking in a public place. There is only one place for young people and not like there is no social activities. So the question for you now, how do you think, which solutions, it can be whatever you want, like use your imagination, like you have whatever you want, could be to solve this situation, so to make it more ideal? What would be more ideal situation here? What would be perfect situation? if we identified problems, now what can be the perfectionist vision of the city?
Can I say?
Yes, yes, sure.
I guess the young people should gather together and then discuss about the situation, and they can go to a decision maker's place, like mayors or governors, let's say, to solve the problem, because they should express the problem. Maybe the decision makers are not aware of the problem, so I think they should react.
Thank you. So like to go to decision makers, to government on the local level, for example.
Or mayor.
Mayor.
It's also maybe asking for a youth center for them where they can meet. Also asking the decision makers in their city for a youth center.
To go, yes, to ask as well decision makers for youth center space. Something else. What do we need to find? So we need to find a place for young people. What else can we do?
Well, looking more at the, for example, area of cities. I mean, for example, Milan, where we live. One of the way to make it more safe and let's say don't let gangsters to smoke drinks and make bad things there is to make it more modern, to clean it, to maintain it, and to remake it in a good way. Because normally this group of people that are maybe exchanging drugs and these things, they don't like nice places. They always go to places that are almost abandoned, where there is no security, where but if they see that the place is clean with the security, with I don't know cameras, with where other people are going, normally they don't go. So somehow like a restructuration, remodernizing the place.
For example, okay. Like in the real solution, the first thing that people did, it was really to go to decision makers on a, can you hear me? Yeah, on a local level. Yes, they said like we have this problem, we have the cinema, young people cannot go there. They didn't receive support. In that case, they said, okay, it's a public place. That's all. It's a public place. And if you want to, young people can go to gelateria, to like tea cafeteria and hang out there. That wasn't basically the best solution. Yes, because like you need to spend money every time and not like they cannot eat so much gelato, it's too much. And then if we go to another problems. So yeah, they didn't receive support from the government. What could be other? So to restructurate, yes. The place, for example, yes, to go to the government also solution depends just on the government. What could be a backup plan? To find a place or get rid of local gangsters. Titan is laughing. Some little
No,
funny idea.
Go and fight with them, but I don't think is a good solution.
Join, yes, join the game.
Join them. Yes.
Okay, the solution there, it's like not sure best or not, was that each school of the city provided a space for young people for the activities. So if, for example, they wanted to play board games or to do, I don't know, theater or cinema night or something like this. So each school had space and time where young people could go. But in order to organize that, like young people and the parents, they went directly to the schools to asking the space and the permission. Yes, and it was the solution there, but it didn't last. It didn't last long. So basically, that's all. And like it was kind of in introduction to the topic that we will speak today. We will speak about management and solutions findings in the communities where we have young people, and how better organize these young communities to find the solution to their problems, let's say, better and efficiently. We will speak about roles, for example, of the role of the government in the with the work and solution finding problems connected with young people. We will speak about roles of young people and so on, and how to better organize young people and communities so the better solutions to different problems, starting to the place to hang out and so on and so forth, could be found. So this will be our main topic for today. Any questions? No. In this case, I can give the floor to Adelina. Yes, and we will start to talk about roles, tasks, and function when we speak about management. I think I can give you the rights. Yes, okay.
Let me see if I can share the screen.
Ah, perfect. Perfect.
Yeah. Do you see it?
Yes.
Okay, thank you. So my presentation is about role, task, and functions, and people and individualized approach to management. And first, I started with a little definition about what management is, and it's a universal concept that is needed in every organization, whether it is a business organization or a non-business organization. And also a good management it depends on the success of the organization. And we have different approaches in management. We have the traditional approach, but also the modern approach. For example, definition of traditional management. Management consists of getting things done through others. A manager is one who accomplishes objectives by directing efforts of others. Or management is the art of getting things done through others. And the definition of modern management. Management is the creation of an internal environment where individuals working in group can perform effectively and efficiently for the achievement of organizational goals. And also, management is defined as the process of planning, organizing, and controlling of an organization operation in order to achieve coordination of the human and material resources essential in the effective and efficient attainment of objectives. These are two approaches of the management. In which one do you think is better? Do you think like the traditional one is a better form of management or the modern one? Do you think like management consists in getting things done for others, or you can work in a group so you can be more efficiently?
Depends on the group.
Depends on
the group. Depends which group you have. But yes, I think modern, sure.
Or maybe if you have like a good manager, the one that can handle any kind of group, maybe you can. Also in management, in order to the organization to have like a good success, you have roles, tasks, and functions. So what roles, what are the roles? The roles refer to the positions or titles or responsibilities that individuals hold within an organization. For example, roles in an organization can be a manager, a supervisor, a team leader, an accountant, and many others. And the roles are important for establishing clarity in the workplace and facilitating the effective communication and collaboration. And it also helps employees to understand their place in the organization and their work. We also have tasks that are specific activities, assignments, or jobs that individuals perform as part of their roles. And these are actionable steps that must be completed to achieve the goals and objectives of the organization. For example, a manager tasks might include setting team goals, conducting performance reviews, and making strategic decisions. Also, tasks are often defined in job descriptions, procedures, and work plans, and they can help employees to understand what is expected of them and how their work contributes to the success of the organization. The functions in an organizational context, they refer to the major divisions and departments that handle specific aspects of the business. These functions are often defined based on the core activities necessary for the organization. For example, they can include marketing, finance, human resources, sales, customer services, and others. And they are essential for organizing and managing the diverse activities in the organization. In conclusions, the roles, tasks, and functions are very important components of the organization structure and the management, because the roles define the positions and the responsibilities in the organization. The tasks are the specific activities that the individuals must do in their organization, and the functions are the major departments, and all together they can help the organization to work efficiently and they are ensuring clarity. And also the way you choose to manage your team or department, it can have like a direct effect on how they are able to meet their goals. Also, I want to speak about the approach in the management. And for example, the people-centric approach in the management. And this is a philosophy that places employees and their well-being at the center of an organization and decision making. This approach emphasizes several.
Adelina, we cannot hear you from like 5 seconds ago.
No.
Or maybe it's only me, like very badly, like very far. Maybe turn on, turn off. Just before it was perfect.
Now?
Like you're very, like it's water between us, something like this. It made like this sound like bzzz, and then you practically disappeared. If you want, you can try to re-enter. I will allow you to come back. Just a second, we will check. solve our small technical problem. We will manage to solve. Same problem. Or maybe it's only me.
No, it's not only you. It's like very far.
Maybe because of
Say like that.
Can you hear me well or the same?
No, Yalchin, we can
Adelina.
hear you properly. I think it's a microphone. Or like, do you have some more devices near? Like in 10 years ago, if you have your mobile phone calling next to laptop, you have a bad connection. Maybe there is something.
I can try to join from my phone.
Yes, if it's okay. In a laptop, you can leave it to show the slides and from phone to speak.
Yes.
You can hear me now?
Yes.
But with echo. There's
Mm-hmm.
an echo.
Yes. I forgot the
Now
audio from
perfect.
the laptop on.
Okay.
Yeah, now much better, Adelina.
Yeah.
Now
I think my laptop needs to be changed.
You can ask Daniela as
Yeah, I think Daniela should provide a modern laptop to all the.
Okay, so I was here speaking about the individualized approach in the management. And here we have some key features of an individualized approach. And these are like the principal ones, like the employee well-being, where it recognizes that the employees are the most valuable persons in the organization. The engagement and the motivation, that is a people-centric approach that seeks to engage and motivate employees. Also, the employee development, and this approach invests in employees and their professional growth. The work-life balance, that promotes a healthy work life and balance to balance and to reduce employee stress and burnout. Also, the recognition and the rewards. You can also recognize and reward your employees and your people in your organization for their work. And the employee feedback and involvement. This approach values the employee feedback and encourages their active participation in the decision-making process. And it promotes open communication and two-way feedback between the management and the others in the organization. And also the individualized approach. This is an individualized approach to management, acknowledges that each employee is unique and each person has specific needs, preferences, and strengths. And this approach includes the personalized coaching and feedback. Managers and others or team leaders may provide individualized coaching and feedback to their employees. Customized development plans. This is like a career development plan for everyone that can align with their goals and skills and aspirations. Also, flexible work arrangement and that recognize the different people that they have different needs and they may have different views to at their work. Recognition of diversity. This approach embraces diversity and inclusion, and it acknowledges that employees may have different backgrounds, experience, and perspectives. Also, the empowerment and autonomy that managers and team leaders or can grant their employees more autonomy and decision-making power. And the last one, the personalized incentive, the rewards may be tailored to match individual preferences. Like one of them may want like financial bonuses, or others they may want like more free time. It depends on what they need. And both the people-centric and the individualized approach to management are rooted in the idea that people are not one size, and that their well-being and individual characteristics play an important role in the organization and also for the success of the organization. And combining these approaches, it can lead to a more engaged and motivated workforce and a friendly and a safe work environment for everyone. So the idea is to combine the two approaches in order to have more success in your organization or at your work. I also have an activity, and you can, I think it's not the case to work in groups. We can do it like individual. So so if it's okay, or is it better, Galia, to work in groups?
Oh, whatever you prefer. I think individually is okay.
I think individually is okay. So I want you to create a profile that highlights your skills, strengths, and weaknesses, and also your career goals. So I think we can have like 10 or 15 minutes for this, if it's okay. And after that, we can present it.
Like for job application, for example, like thinking from this perspective.
Yes, thinking for this perspective, or maybe like You are, for example, you are working with young effect, and what are your skills and strengths, weaknesses, what you can do to improve the work there. Is it okay? Do you need more time?
I'm thinking about weaknesses personally.
Did you finish? Okay, I'm afraid to speak right now because my phone is also making noises.
Now it's fine.
If you want to present your profile.
Okay. I can be first. I didn't wrote like a beautiful, just the key things. So the career goal, United Nations project coordinator. I decided to go high. So like United Nations like projects, something like this. With the skills, I wrote public speaking, creativity, mediating, teamwork, and project management. With the strengths, like I speak 2 languages that are official languages of United Nations, and Italian. Then experience working in international environment, coordinating experience, and I decided immigration, like immigrating experience, like living in different countries for a long period, that can be a strength as well. As a weaknesses, I a little bit Googled to understand what are my weaknesses, but it inspired me. Maybe I have problems to let go an idea when it is obviously not the good one. Like when you think that, oh, such a good idea, but then with time you understand that it doesn't worth it. I'm struggling to say, okay, let's let it go. Let's not to do it. Yes, and life work balance for sure. And this is just the beginning, I think. But for now, that's all. We cannot hear you.
No?
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. So finding the weaknesses was the hardest part.
I think so, yes. There are too much of them. Identifying which one really could create troubles working. Yes, maybe here was yes. But when I saw a list, because I Googled weaknesses at work, and when I saw the list of them, I immediately understood which one is mine. So yes, then it helped.
Thank you, Galia.
Thank you.
Okay, then I can go.
Yes.
There is still a big echo. Most probably, maybe Adelina, you have both audio.
No. I'm only on the phone with audio.
Then it's someone else.
I don't know what's happening.
Maybe Carlo.
Hey, can you hear me?
Yeah.
I tried to stop the second device that I have, so I think it's not for me because I'm muted on the second one.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Then maybe it was my problem. Okay. I think it's my problem then. Only.
No, I also hear echo.
Yeah. Okay. Now?
Now it's
Yes,
good.
it was your fault.
Maybe it was my fault. Yeah, sorry. Yeah, no, sorry. Also, I wrote a message in the group chat. It was only for setup that had to leave for another meeting. But of course, I don't know how to use Zoom properly. That's why I'm making mess. Anyway, yeah, I also wrote that I took some photos. This will be posted in some of the articles that will be published for the webinar. And well, about the task, the career goals, it's something that I'm trying to realize it right now. That is the managing a team of project coordinators and create a physical place for young people, like let's say youth center. So in the first case, more or less, I am on the way to do it. And the second goal, to create like a youth center in the city, is much more difficult. Because of I mean, it's not easy also because was discussing with some other people that here in Italy we have some youth centers that are managed by the church, and these are kind of substituting the youth center that maybe you can find in the north of Europe or other countries. But in general, especially concerning the first goal, that is the management of a team of project coordinator, I am doing it. And the strength that I can say is that I have organizational skills. So in order to find the right role for every person in the organization, and mediation and conflict resolution. So when there are problems, I am always trying to find a solution for that is okay for everything, like for everyone to be good with the others. About the weaknesses, I found that sometimes I have too much sensitivity, meaning that when there are the problems, sometimes I really feel it, and sometimes I suffer because of this. And maybe something else is that in some things I have maybe superficial approach, meaning that I maybe don't go too deep inside the things, and I always keep it on the surface, and sometimes I make mistakes because of this. Also, that is somehow going against the organizational skills, but I think that are somehow different. So this is maybe what I found myself. Yeah.
Thank you, Tizi.
You're welcome. I think maybe 2 are okay, like as example.
What?
No, I mean like the profile of mine and Galia maybe can be enough, like as example.
Yes, yeah. Yeah. So if we finished with the profile, I also finished with my presentation. So thank you. Thank you, Tizi. Thank you, Galia.
Thank you, Adelina. Thank you very much. So, and we can go to the second part before the small break that will be held by Kalo and Bulgarian Youth Forum. Kalo, I think we cannot hear you if you speak.
Yes, I just opened my microphone. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay, I also had some problems like Adelina. That's why I'm with my phone and with my computer as well. I bought a new laptop, and there is some problem with the camera. I don't know why, but I cannot open it. Anyway, shall I start with my part, or we have a break now, Gala?
You can start. You can start.
I can start. Okay, great. Thank you for having me today. Thank you for being part of this beautiful webinar. I'm always glad to see you all here, part of our project. I will share my screen if this is possible, because I also have a presentation. Let me see if this will help. And yes, please confirm if you see the presentation starting, or if there are some problems with that.
We see it perfectly.
Okay, so my name is Kaloyan Cvetkov. This is my full name, or for short, Kalo. I'm part of Bulgarian Youth Forum in this project that is coordinated by Young Effect, and my part today from the webinar will be related with two concepts. The first one is the circles of competence, and the second part is the hierarchical structures. I think, Galia, you already explained about the project goals, the project activities.
Yes.
What is it about? If we have some new participants, they should be acknowledged about this. So I will skip this, let's say, administrative part that is not so interesting. But what can I say about the project itself, the young community organizers? I think it is um, very interesting and very motivational for the participants that already took part, especially from the Bulgarian Youth Forum. Uh, Personally, I'm also involved in the activities, and I can see that through all of the main activities of the projects, everybody can improve himself or herself and can find, let's say, new competences and skills that were either not so well developed before, or they weren't um, developed at all. This is from my personal point of view, and also from the point of view of the participants who already took part of the training courses, the exchanges, and also the other activities. But let's go and explore the circle of competence. This concept that is relatively new. Maybe some of you have heard of it, others might not. But in general, this concept is quite brand new. And if you are checking online or in also in the scientific literature, you are going to see many publications, and you trace the origin of this concept. Excuse me, with this person. Um, do you know who is this guy on the slide? Can I ask you to share with me if you have any suggestions?
Not really.
Not
No.
really. Okay, well, this is maybe a very famous person, at least in Bulgaria. I'm also sure that in your country he's also very famous. This is Warren Buffett. He's one of the most widely accepted and recognized American investor. He's, we can say, business magnate, a billionaire, a person who is in his age. I think he's 93 or 94 years old today. And he's still doing lots of things related to, let's say, some charity, some donations, lots of things related to his life. But he's widely regarded as one of the most successful investors in the world, and also chairman and CEO of Berkshire Hathaway. This is a multinational corporation that is with huge assets. So when we talk about this concept related to our topic today, we can hear from Warren Buffett's advice, which was related to the fact that we should all stay within our circle of competence, which means that if you are investor and you should focus on some businesses to invest, you have to be within your circle of competence, which means that in order to be successful at some, let's say, um, at some topic or at some job, we need to to be within our circle of competence in order to have personal development and career opportunities. If we try to find out literature related to this concept, there are plenty of it. I am just sharing with you some of those that are one of the most cited, one of the most interesting. They have different aspects and different perspectives. You can see a very practically oriented books. You can find one of my favorite book, which is related also to some extent to the topic of Carol Dweck and the new psychology of success or the mindsets. You can find many books related to personal development and personal growth that should be maybe investigated from you later. But in general, the concept is very, very related to leadership skills and creating strong skills that can help to your community. In let's say historical perspective, this concept was let's say related to financial sector and to decision-making process, but it is very, very broad topic that should be let's say that can be implemented and then can be used in different spheres. The essence of this concept is related to the fact that every individual, or in terms of organization, of course, NGOs, or as Gala mentioned, United Nations, for example, or any other organizations, every individual and every organization has its expertise, knowledge, and skills, and we need to improve them in order to have better future career opportunities and self-development in general. I put this concept on a Google Ngram viewer instrument that we can access, and you can see that it started to be in the, let's say, in the internet space in the beginning of 1990s. Those were the first books that were published related to this concept, and you can see a peak here somewhere in 2005 where there were really many mentions of this concept within different books. What are some key aspects that we need to know in order to get better understanding of this concept? Is that the circle of competences includes and represents different understandings, knowledge, and experience, which leads to competitive advantage of every individual or the organizations, of course. It is also related to informed decision making. When we have let's say a good circle of competencies, it is more likely for individuals and organizations to have effective decisions, to have choices that are, let's say, based on deeper understanding, and we are familiar with the territory of our knowledge. Of course, there are some limitations that are connected to this concept. It is essential to recognize these limitations and let's say, avoid decisions in areas that we are not very familiar with. And of course, the fourth key aspects, it is related to the continuous learning, which means that this concept doesn't imply that individuals or organizations should remain static within their current expertise. But instead, we have to encourage ongoing learning and expansion of the circle over time. Actually, this is one of the main purpose of this project, and thanks to the all organizations, we are actually doing this with the target groups. What we can do now is to let's say, try to explore our personal circle of competence. Something that Adelina tried to do also with her workshop. It will be similar, but a little bit different. So I would like to share with you some of my personal, let's say, competences that I have, and then I will ask you to do the same. Most of you already know me, but for those who don't, I want to say that besides being part of Bulgarian Youth Forum, I'm also senior assistant professor in Sofia University. And I'm geographer, so I suppose that I have to have some skills that are related to geography. And if I need to explore them and if I need to share them with you, I would like to say that I really like field work, and I'm good at this. I enjoy being on the field, in the nature, trying to gather some information, spatial information about some processes, some objects that are anywhere in the world, as all geographers. So this should be one of my element of the circle of competence. Another thing that I can say that I have some expertise is that I can create maps, and I'm very good at cartography. So when I go to the field and I collect some data, I can put them on the maps. Another thing that I personally think that it's part of my circle of competencies, the cultural understanding. As geographers, we have some knowledge that is related to the different countries, the different social divisions and the different societies in the world. So the cultural understanding should be part of my circle of competence. I can go with more and more, but I'm not going to elaborate on them. For sure, I can say that I have some environmental knowledge, remote sensing knowledge, critical thinking skills, skills related to spatial analysis and geographical information systems, skills and competences related to urban planning, communication, research and data analysis, and so forth and so forth. Those are things that I can focus more on, and I can further develop my circles of competences in this way. If I may ask you now, for you, each of you, to identify your personal circle of competence, and maybe it's difficult for you, it's not possible for you to draw it on the screen, but you can try to think of some of those, write them down, and share them within our webinar. With, I think, maybe 1 or 2 minutes for each of you to just think for a minute about your areas of expertise, that you really feel that you are competent and you are confident that you know lots of things about it. If somebody is ready, please say something and I can try to write it on the screen.
I am ready.
Okay, Tizi, would you like to share with us your circle of competence that you have?
Yeah. Okay. Well, I work for the NGO working for European programs. So my first competence is the knowledge of European programs.
Okay.
Then, oh, I sincerely leak.
Sorry. European programs. Okay, great.
So then I can say, like, I know how to write projects. So the project cycle management, let's say.
Great. This is crucial competence that is important. Okay.
Then, well, because I need to write about something, I need to be aware of the situation in the world. So I would say that I have competencies in geopolitics or like social situations around the world.
Great. situation. Great.
Yeah.
Something else that you might share?
Other two, because I work with a lot of people from different cultures, I know in general about cultures. So
Can I say cultural awareness or
yes,
something
cultural
like that?
awareness. And the last one, because I like when I travel, I like to try different food. I would say that I have a knowledge about food in the world.
Can I write it down as a gastronomy knowledge?
Yes, yes, yes.
Okay, great. So I want to ask you additional question now, Lizzie. Can you identify some competencies that you are not so confident that you have, but let's say that partially you know them, or you have partial skills related to this competence?
I would say language, because of course I use English and other languages to communicate, but I feel that I miss still a lot.
Great. Okay, perfect. I wanted to ask you this question because this is, let's say, a second part, second circle of your circle of competence. Let's say that each of us has a very, very different set of skills that lead to competencies, and we can also identify them, but to have awareness and categorize them in a different level, let's say. And I will tell you later what the scholars suggest that we need to do in order to, let's say, improve those competencies. Okay, maybe one more person can share with us his or her competences. Is there somebody?
Yes, Adelina, but badly. We need your phone back, I think.
Okay. I want.
Okay, Adelina, if you want to share with us, we are willing to hear you.
Because I'm working with an association that have 7 projects with the city hall, I have some administrative skills because I'm working with the papers for the city hall.
Okay.
Then maybe history, international relations knowledge, because I studied history.
Okay, as far as I hear, it is historical knowledge, right? Okay. Events in the past, let's say.
Also teaching competencies, because I took teaching course in the universities.
Great. Perfect.
Also, let's say organizing events, because we are also having events.
Great. Thank you very much, Adelina, for sharing it with us. Of course, we can continue with more and more examples and personal competences that we have, but it is important for us to emphasize them. And if we want to be community leaders, if we want to continue to progress in our life, let's say, it is essential to identify those competencies. And also the thing that Adelina showed us a bit earlier, it can be part of, let's say, a self-assessment, personal self-assessment that can help us to, let's say, be more and more competitive. Okay, thank you for sharing it. The second part of this concept of circle of competences is the circle of incompetences, which is as antipode of the first one, and we need to be aware that we have, all of us, some areas that we lack expertise or we don't have competencies. If I have to give an example from my let's say personal skills that I have, for example, I don't have so good IT skills. For example, I couldn't solve the problem with the camera, or I don't have skills that are related to cooking. And this can also be part of our process of identifying our circle of competences, to know the areas where we are not so good. And this, of course, can help us again through to to work on those let's say areas, and try to improve them in the future. What is important to know that is related to the concept is that if we identify some areas where we are not good at all, we shouldn't let's say try to make a business or to try to intervene, because it will be very difficult, and we don't have the competitive advantage of this this circle. This is according to this theory and concept. Okay, I think it's enough for this part. Let me clear this thing. Okay. Okay, so this is our circle of incompetence that I just mentioned. These are the places, the spheres where we are less confident, less knowledgeable, and for sure there might be situations where we as I hear some noises. Can you hear me? Please say if you can
Yes,
hear.
yes.
Okay. Okay. So this is the areas where where we do not have the skills, and we should let's say have something in mind when we try to find jobs or have personal growth. How we can apply this concept, the circle of competence, in our personal or professional lives? it is very important to have, let's say, goals, to set goals when we try to improve our circle of competences. For example, if I have to say from my, again, personal point of view, I need to think of one realistic goal that can be achieved within a certain time. We, from the our second-hand book that we have published, that is part of the project, we can find some very good characteristics and some very good tools that can help us to create achievable, realistic goals. The SMART concept, I encourage you, if you haven't seen it already, to try to visit the websites of your organizations or the project and see from this handbook how to set these goals. I just want to share with you my personal action plan that is related to this concept. It should be related somehow with my own circle of competencies that I already mentioned with you. For example, this is my goal that I want to achieve in the next 1 year. Within the next year, I will acquire a basic understanding of geographical information systems and gain proficiency in using GIS software. This is my personal goal that can be achieved through some steps, of course, and with an action plan. Why I want to do this? Because this software is part of very, let's say, cutting edge technologies, very essential in the sphere of geography, related to mapping and the data visualizations. And if I'm a geographer and if I lack this knowledge in this area, it means that I can I won't have so good career opportunities. This is essential competence that I need to have. And in order to achieve this, I have to think of an action plan that can be that can lead me to the successful realization of this competence. So I just put some examples of what can I do in the next year in order to achieve this plan. First, for example, enroll in an introductory GIS course, and I just put here one example. The Coursera have lots of free courses, including the geographical information system. So you can go enroll in it, and of course invest time in order to practice with this software that is used. Also to read books that are related to this, to network with GIS professionals, something, for example, that I will do next week, as there will be a huge meeting in Sofia. Of course, we need to set milestones which can tell us and which can prove if we have success or not. And of course, to measure our success, how we are doing. Okay, Gala, how is the time? Am I in a good time? Because this is the first part of my presentation.
How much time would you need?
I think 10 minutes maximum for the second part. Is okay?
8-10 minutes, yes.
10 minutes, okay. Okay, if you don't have anything to say for the first part, the second part of the presentation is related to the hierarchical structures, something that is important in the concept of leadership and in community organizing process. because we all live in a world that is dominated by big companies, big organizations, some small organizations as well, that have all some kind of structure that is typically characterized with clear lines of authority and reporting. And if we have to define this concept, we need to say that these hierarchical structures establish the roles and the different levels of responsibilities that each individual has within an organization or some companies. And of course, it is related to decision making, as we have to manage with the problems that are taking place within our communities. This is the engram viewer that is related to the hierarchy structure. What we can say, if we compare it with the first concept, with the circle of competences, we can say that this model is older. We can trace it back in the end of the first half of the 20th century, in the 1940s, and we can see again one let's say peak in the beginning of 21st century. And of course, we can find it in many different publicly available articles related to this concept. But let's try to draw some basic structure, hierarchical structure of an NGO, for example. Let me try. If you want, you can help me as well. I will try to use the I'll try to use the tools here. But for example, if I want to share with you the Bulgarian Youth Forum as an NGO, what kind of a structure the NGO has? So first of all, we have a chairman that is here on the top. This chairman can have different names. It can be president, it can be a leader, or something like this. What else we can find in the structure of each NGO besides the chairman?
The accountant.
Accountant, okay, very important role. Usually, the accountant is like half chairman. We have this saying in Bulgaria, because it is the person who knows basically all the operations and all the activities that the organization has, right?
Yeah.
Okay, let me write. Accountant. Something else? Some organizations, especially bigger ones, have board that is, let's say, as important as the chairman. Either it can be subordinated to the chairman, or it is also possible to be at the same level in the hierarchy with the chairman. It depends on the countries. What else we can find in the structure, the organization structure of NGOs or corporations?
I would say maybe communication manager.
Great. Or in some countries, it is public relation manager, right?
Yeah.
Great. This is important because we all want to know what is let's say, what is the phase of our organization within the community, within the policy members, within let's say local territory where we are operating. Okay, something else we can add to this?
I can say in our case, we have also the international relation manager. That is different because the communication manager, in our case, is more managing, for example, the socials, the website, while the international relation manager is communicating with the international partners, finding new partnership, and so totally different role.
Mm-hmm. Okay, thank you, Tizi. What we can say about all of those profiles and all of those positions is that they are subordinated to the chairman, and all of the decisions that those people take should be connected with the chairman, and they have to be, of course, in coordination with him. Can we go to another level, and can we find a third level of people who can be part of an NGO?
Well, I can
For
say,
example,
yeah, for example, the coordinator of the volunteers.
Great. Is a person who is in charge of maybe recruiting new volunteers. He's in charge, or she's in charge of let's say, giving them some opportunities for youth exchanges or training courses. Person who knows his or her part of the pie, let's say.
Mm-hmm.
Great. Something else that we can go and try to write down is again related to the operations that are part of our NGO, and they are of course specific, but we can go again down and find another level. For example, only the volunteers, who are of course part of our organization, but for sure the more we go to down, let's say, the less are the responsibilities of the people who are here. The more up we go, the more responsibilities we have, and of course the bigger power we have. This is basically the concept that we invested investigate with this hierarchical structure, and it is operating to different organizations, different territories. And what I would like to ask you is if it's possible to share with me some of your roles that you have within your organization, or to identify what is your position within the hierarchy of your group. It can be part of your NGO, it can be part of your job, or if you are a student, for example, you can have different roles. So if we have a few minutes to share that, it would be great.
Galia, maybe you want to say something because you were making a lot of steps in the last year.
Too much steps, like starting with the volunteer. I'm heading to the president. No, like volunteer, and then I'm not sure how would I identify now myself, where my identity stands.
Okay, great. Yes.
I would say maybe
everybody
that,
has his or her own.
I can comment a bit on Galia's stairs, let's say, because she started as someone interested in the organization. Okay, then she was a participant in a project. Then she became, let's say, intern and volunteer. Then she started to, let's say, be helper in a project like logistics and stuff like this. Then trainer, and now she has some like important roles like making reports, also administrating part of the accountancy, and so she is getting more and more closer to the top, let's say. So several steps.
Great. Well, it takes time, of course. If you want to become, let's say, part of the board of the directors of an NGO, of course, you need to be, before that, maybe executive director. Before that, you can be just part of the staff. Of course, you can be a volunteer as well. But it takes time to gain the knowledge and skills about being part of these positions, because of course it has a lot of different responsibilities. Okay. What are the features? Maybe you are familiar with them, so I won't waste too much time of this. Just want to say that there are two levels, let's say the higher and the lower levels, and they are related to the responsibilities from one point of view, and from another point of view with the decision making process. The level of authority also, it's important, and typically the higher levels have higher authorities. The more up we go, the more communicative we need to be. This is something that is very important, and we also emphasize it on the two handbooks that are part of this project. Of course, the accountability and the efficiency and orders are important characteristics of this concept. as they need to be coordinated and let's say they need to be better communicated within an organization in order to have better functioning of this NGO. What are, and with this I will finish with the webinar. What are some thoughts that you can share with me about the experiences that you have with people who are in a different role in this hierarchical structure of a company, NGO? It can be administrative office or anything else. Can you share with us some personal experiences that we might encounter when dealing with people with different role? That can be good or bad examples, of course.
Well, I can say that when I was working in the profit sector,
Yes.
sometimes you even don't see the chairman, so you don't know him, because there are so many levels
Yes.
that even if you are a worker there, you don't even meet the chairman. While maybe in the NGOs structures, the hierarchy structure is more flat, let's say, not very vertical. So you have more relation with the chairman or the board for sure.
Yes, I can confirm this. For example, last week we had elections in Bulgaria that are local elections for the mayors and for the municipality councillors, and some of the new mayors that wanted to apply to be mayors of municipalities, they put in their campaign, they emphasize on the fact that they can have and they will have time to uh, to to speak with the citizens, because for 4 years the previous mayor had never spoken with citizens in his office. They just disappear, and people voted for him or her, but they didn't have any let's say communication after that. So this is one of the disadvantage of let's say dealing with different hierarchies. What else I can say? Sometimes the level of bureaucracy is quite complicated when we try to achieve again when we try to reach the people from higher levels. This is something that takes time in order to um, uh, start communication with those people, and it can lead to, let's say, less efficient work. Okay. For wrapping up and for the summary of these two concepts that I just presented to you, the first takeaway that we need to have related to the circle of competences concept is related to the fact that to identify our expertise and competences is crucial to our personal growth. On another important thing is that we need to highlight the distinction between the circle of competences and the circle of incompetences. Those are the places where we lack expertise, and the distinction can guide us for making better choices and for better decision making within our communities and our organizations. The third important thing that we need to emphasize is related to the effective and successful outcomes that are related to making decisions that align with our personal circle of competence. If we do not have it, we need to speak with a person who has it and make an informed decision. The self-reflection, the exercise that we did for our personal competencies, circle of competencies, can help us to emphasize and see our strengths and limitations that can be applied for personal and professional context. And don't forget to set realistic goals in order to expand our expertise and stay within our area of competences. Regarding the second concept, we need to know that today's world is functioning with these hierarchical structures, and we need to have, if we want to work with NGOs or with authorities and administrative offices, we need to clearly know the structure of those organizations. If we want to be a young leaders and if we want to change our community, we need to know how the mayor's office is functioning, how the NGOs are working, or how the corporations have their how they make decisions. The roles are important. They highlight and they emphasize the importance of the responsibilities that each individual have within these organizations, and we need to know how the communication is flowing between the different hierarchical structural levels. When we talk about decision making, we can illustrate with the exercise that we made with drawing the different hierarchies that we should know the specific departments and divisions that are part of the NGOs. Of course, there are challenges that the structure of organizations have, and we need to bear in mind that the bigger and the more complex the structure is, the bigger the bureaucracy process is, and the lower the flexibility of the organization is. With this, I finish my presentation. Gala, sorry for being a bit late.
No, we're on time. Thank you. Thank you very much. Is
Thank
there
you.
any questions to Carlo, to me, to Adelina, maybe? Not yet. No, well, if they will be later after the break, please don't hesitate to ask. Okay, so it was our first part of the webinar. I think now we can take, let's say, 15 minutes break until 5:20, and then we will come back with 2 more sessions from Turkey and Spain.
Okay.
Thank you very much. At 5:20 Italian time, we wait you back. welcome back. I hope majority of us is here. And we can continue after a cup of coffee, tea, in my case, water. Yes, with the second part, yes, of the webinar. And with Yalchin, we will speak now about decision-making and problem-solving mechanisms.
Okay. Hi, everybody. I hope you're doing well and had a short break. So I won't keep you too much, but I will talk about very important topics about the decision making and the problem solving in a kind of youth work and as a kind of social leaders. But let's start with a nice icebreaker. So we don't maybe we know each other, but we'll try to find out more about us. So it's a kind of decision making, and so we will decide about ourselves. And so I want you to write two things about yourself that are true. Two things about that are true in a chat box in here in Zoom. Okay, and one thing about you that is not true also. So there will be three sentences, two true, one is not true. Decide which two items are true and which is not true. So we will try to find out some of us, and so we can work together by country or by country to read a decision. Is it true or not? Is it so we'll make a reach and decision will be done. So let's try it, and I will send you a kind of an example in a chat box. Okay, please open the chat box and write this like this. Okay. Just one message, not a one or three, four different messages. Just in a one message, please send your sentences about yourself, which is true or not true. Tell a lie. Tell a lie. Then. Okay, I got sense from Titsi. Yes, a few more, please. Then we will start. A few more, if you have. Yes, Adelina. Thank you. Okay. Yes, that's. Is anybody writing, or yeah? Let's start with yes. Let's discuss and okay. Color from Bulgaria. Okay. Thank you. Hello. Any sound from the participants? These are almost from the project stuff, let's say. Okay. Yes. Now, please look at here. Let's start with mine, okay? And decide if it is true or not, okay? So I'm also an English teacher. Do you think it's true?
Yes,
Most of
it's
you know me,
true.
but I don't know.
Yes,
Huh?
it's true.
Yeah, yes, yes. They say I'm an English teacher. Okay. I've got 3 children. No? No. Okay. Do you do more? More or less?
Yes, you have to.
Okay, yeah, thank you.
But
Okay.
maybe there is something that we don't know.
Maybe I don't know too, yeah. Okay. Is Serap around here? I don't know.
No,
Okay.
Serap left the meeting, so
Okay,
you
okay.
can be honest.
Yeah, I'm happy. I'm okay now. Then okay. Yes. I have been to Singapore. Yes, that should be true. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Good. Cristiano, I saw Putin and Obama in real. Do you think Putin and Obama are Cristiano's best friends or good friends?
You never know.
Maybe, yeah. Mhm.
Yeah. Well, I can answer.
Yes.
Yeah, I saw them in Expo in 2015 in Milan.
Oh, really?
Yeah, yeah. I
Can you prove it? Do you have any photos?
I will send you a photo. I will send you a
Okay.
photo.
Okay.
You really have a photo? Huh?
Of course I have.
Do you know that we don't see you?
Ah, sorry.
Okay.
Here I am. Yeah, I have a photo. I will send it to you in the chat.
Okay. Okay. I love mushrooming.
Yeah. So
You mean mushroom things or mushrooming? What do you mean by love mushrooming? You growing mushroom or what? What do you mean?
Going to the forest to find mushrooms.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah.
Do you think?
Yeah, they know me. They know me. Yeah, I love them. I love them.
Yeah. Okay. True.
It's true.
Okay. So you.
I'm afraid.
You don't like.
I am afraid
Okay, you
of
don't
dogs.
like. You don't like dogs, huh?
Yeah, I'm afraid. I'm afraid.
Okay,
Yeah.
good. Very good. And the other one is, yes, Galia. I'm an Erasmus Plus coordinator. I think yes.
Yes.
Okay. I have 3 parents.
Parrots.
3 parents, sorry.
Parrots. Mhm.
Parents, yeah. Okay.
Adelina, why no? Like, don't I look like
I'm
a
not.
full of parrots?
No, no, I think.
No.
No, okay.
But when I was at
Yes.
school, I had like a lot of years ago, maybe 15 years ago, I had parrots, but then they died.
3 parents you had.
Not at the same time, I think. Not at the same time. They were dying and they were dying.
Yeah. Did they speak
Russia is not the best
Russian?
climate for parrots.
Okay. Yeah, it's okay. Yeah, your roommate is from Venezuela. Yeah,
Mhm.
you know. Okay. Adelina, yes, I was born in Constanza.
It can be true.
Yes.
No,
No.
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 Yeah.
I'm living here for so many years, but no, I was not.
So where were you born?
In Fetești, close to Constanța.
In?
Fetești, that is close.
Yeah. Okay. 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 No, this is not true. Sorry. Okay. Okay. The other one is I studied history. These are true. Let's say.
Mhm.
And I'm afraid of cats.
Yes,
What about dogs?
I love dogs.
Okay. Yes. Color, I like tennis. Tennis. Do you think? I don't think so. Color. No. Okay, no.
Actually, this is correct. I like tennis.
Really?
I love tennis.
Okay. Good.
Yes, like tzitzis mushrooms.
Okay. Yes. You've been to Africa?
Never, never. I just saw it from Gibraltar, but I've never been there.
So this is I enjoy Erasmus project. There is no Erasmus project. I'm sorry.
No?
Carlo,
Oh,
there
this
is no
is
program,
pity.
Erasmus program.
Ah,
I'm sorry.
So yes, you are correct.
You
are
got,
correct.
you got, okay. Anyway, yeah, I know.
Yes,
You
yes.
enjoy Erasmus Plus. Okay. So my question is that, so how did you make your decision while reading this sentence? A few sentences, how do you know, so, or, the guess, or how did you make your decision while telling this is true or not? So most of the time you have done right. So what do you think that you made your decision correct? How did you reach your decision? Maybe you know before them, or you know them before, or maybe guessing or looking at their face, or you met them before. What is the techniques that you may use to make your decision?
I think sometimes using the logics. So, for example, excluding the one that we were sure that they were true. So even if we didn't know that that one was false, but it was that, let's say, the other two were more true than the one that we supposed that it was false.
So you made some brainstorming activities that let's say and also you know the context of the people, the background of the people. So these kind of things that we're gonna talk about later in my slides. So these are the things that we make or we reach our decision. Okay, thank you very much for this. So we may get to know each other better then, but for to me, I didn't know that Cristiano love mushrooming. Okay, we will see. Okay, there is very, yeah, there's very expensive mushroom in Italy. I don't know what's that. It's very expensive. They use in pizzas or something. But
Yes,
I don't
the truffles.
yeah. That's it.
Yeah, but for these ones you need dogs, and I don't like dogs, so I cannot go. I cannot go find truffles.
Yeah. Okay. Okay.
But Adelina, you can come to visit me. I have 2 cats. So.
Really?
I will come with the dogs.
Oh my God! No. Thanks.
Okay. Thank you. That's right. Okay. Let's do a kind. Yeah. Yeah. Uh, let's again brainstorming about decision. So, what do you think is decision making? So, a few sentences. What is decision making? That we have done some nice breaker about decision making, how we decide the sentences are true or false. This is kind of an example, but what do you think what the decision making is? Just a few words or the sentences, or you can define the decision making by your own words, and any words about it.
I would say like exploring what is around us. Like before making a decision, I need to know what is around me.
Around us before making a decision, you say, huh?
Yes.
What else can we say?
Maybe trying to predict an outcome of the decision based on the previous experience. Like trying to predict the outcome of the decision.
Try to predict the outcome. Yeah, outcome is a good, yes, good keyword. Yeah, thank you very much. Yes. Try to predict the outcome, yes, of the problem, or maybe this. Let's finish with try to find the predicts or the guess the outcome of what will happen, what we'll have at the end of our decision, or if we decide. Okay. Yes. Thank you very much for this. Is good example for. Okay. Let's say. So what is decision making? Okay. So choosing an alternative. Yeah, this is also a very good definition of the choosing an alternative, or consider something. But it's a cognitive process. It's a kind of, yes, cognitive, the brain thinking process. Also opinion, and also we do some judgments. So it's very important in decision making procedures. Okay. So what is decision making defined? So it's an act of making up your mind about something. So you try to make up something for the solution of what you think. Okay. So, or a position or opinion or a judgment reached after consideration. So consider is a good word, consideration, and also making up your mind is another keyword of making decision. But trying to find a kind of a social worker or a youth worker or a leader. So we call it decision makers. So who are the decision makers? So in a high hierarchy that Carlos talked about. So they affect other people's life, and say if they decide something together, so they may change their lives or lives. or social life, or even or nature, everything. So decision makers should be a consideration and a judgment, and also a position or opinion. Okay, so what is the process of the decision making? Let's say decision making is now first planning, and then the other one is directing. Okay, and also leading the group, and controlling the group, what you have done, and or what will happen, or organizing your opinion or mind, or your position, etc. Okay, these are very important process. So what is this strategic decision making process? This is the process. So first, decision forming, okay, gathering intelligence, coming to the conclusion, decision implementation, and learning and process improvement. So this is the very important circle for the decision making. Okay, but you should be a decision framing about that. Then let's talk about the elements of the decision making. So these are very, yes, the problem context, yes, context. So it's a context is very important in a linguistic or other area. Sorry? I'm sorry?
No, I think it was a microphone open.
Okay, yeah, okay. So we should decide who is affected by the problem. So we have got a problem, and we'll try to find a solution, or we should make a decision to solve the problem. Okay, so this is our affected group, let's say. Okay, so then the problem finding to make our decision and to reach our decision. So we'll try to find a problem, and agenda setting. This is what we should do. Yes, hour by hour, or day by day, or month by month, or year by year. So it should be important. It's about according to the problem, or so it should be a day problem, or a week problem, or a year problem, or a century problem. So it doesn't matter. So, and so rational, why, the reason for doing or believing in something. So this is the other important element of the decision making process. The reason is important here. And setting. So we should set everything that we have gathered beforehand, and what's in our hands, our mind, to make up our decision, make up your mind. Okay, so we should decide. So we have a problem here, and also we decide the scope, the border on the level of the problem. So how serious is the problem? Is it an urgent problem that we need to solve it? We need to make a decision, and we need kind of problem solving that we will talk about later. The other one is, okay, procedural and technical aids. So we'll keep in mind these elements. Okay, so what do we need to make our decision? So we'll try to make, okay, processes and procedures, and is it maybe legal procedures, or other social procedures, or technical aids that we can have, we may need to make our decision. Okay, so as Galia said, so the most important, one of the most important elements of is outcome. So the result of the decision. So what is the result of our decision? Is it, so we should think about, we should consider. So I said, okay, make your mind and consideration is very key words in making decision. So we should consider the result of the decision here as well. And so after all, so we should implement our decision. So keeping all the things that we have done before, and we should make our decision, and we should act our decision in a logical order that we talked about before. Okay. Yes. This is all. This is what we can say decision making, and while decision making is resulting in problem solving, or problem solving resulting in decision making. It's a vice versa, the terms. But I want to talk about the decision making after and the problem solving. So again, I would like to ask your opinion about the problem solving. What is problem solving, do you think? So we have yes, making decision, also problem solving. It's interrelated, I can say, but I want you to hear your words, or your own words. What is problem solving? You can write in chat box, or here you can speak.
Choosing or making a decision that will lead to the best
Yes.
result.
Decision.
Like, yeah, making decision that can lead to the best desirable result, or to the best possible result.
Best result. Yes, good. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yes, good. Good example. Good. Yes, the good definition. Let's say. Another opinion about what is decision making?
It's like taking action.
Yeah,
after
good. Yes,
research.
taking action. Taking action for what?
Like
Taking
after,
action.
like after research for it, you are taking the initiative and you are taking action to solve the problem.
Taking action. I couldn't hear you very well, but taking action to solve the problem. I think I just catch some words. Solve the problem. Okay. Thank you, Adelina. Okay. The other one is that, yes, yes. I think this is young effect. You use not young effect. Okay, yeah. Creating less problems to others.
Yeah,
Yes.
I mean,
creating not
considering
creating.
considering that when you find a solution, especially in the communities where we are, there is it's good for someone, but someone else is always not good with that. I think the best solution is to find something that is creating the less problems to the others. Of course, it's solving something, but also creating the less to the other.
Okay, good. A good way of thinking. Yeah. Okay. Problem solved.
I've been a politician, and when I had to take a decision, I knew that for some was good, for some others not, because you always create problems. Let's say when you try to solve something. So the best was, in my experience, to find always a compromise to solve a problem, but at the same time consider also the ones that are not good with that solved problems, let's say.
Okay, right. Yeah. Okay. Thank you for the contribution, sir. Anything else that about the problem solving? Yes. Let's clean here. Okay, so that's the definition. So you cover the most of you, yes, the speaker that talking about the problem solving that cover these elements, of course. The process of working through details of a problem. So we got a problem, and this is the process. The working through problems. So, and to reach a solution. Okay, so and we need to have these 4 skills in order to reach a solution and to process or way of thinking and working to find a solution to the problem. Okay, one of them is analytical skills, and some maybe you need mathematical skills or forward thinking, and also feature and effect analysis, say cause and effect. So what, as this says, okay, we should consider the cause and effect, what we have decided to solve the problem. Right? Yeah. So it's a good. I like this definition. So problem solving is a mental process and of problem finding and problem shaping. So these are problem finding. So and also problem shaping are the most important elements of the problem solving. Okay. So what we have in a management of problem solving, the problem management. So we got a process and then decision. So we need to follow the process and finally we make our decision. Okay. So what are the let's talk about the 7 steps for effective problem solving in youth work. So in a social life, in a youth work, or in a leadership, let's say, we should know how to is a good leader, has a good problem solving skill. These are, we call it decision making, or we call it soft skills. These are, we call the soft skills rather than hard skills. Hard skill is a kind of computer using, but the soft skill is a kind of management or the time management, also the problem solving. These, so we can consider these let's say skill as a soft skill, problem solving. So how we can make a good and effective problem solving, especially in our youth work. Okay, identify the issues first, and then so understand everyone's interest and list of the possible solutions and options. So it's a good, and evaluate the options. You see the option and then evaluate the options and select an option or an option. So we need to find a different ways or options to solve the problem, and we can list these options. Then the next step, the 5th step, step 5 is select a good option or better option that you can think that it's true, or you can also make not just one option. You can decide or select more than one. And so document the agreements. If you have a kind of, yes, is official things that to solve the problem, you have document what you have done or agreements in a group work, okay, in a youth work, or in a company, or in an association. And then agree on contingencies and monitoring and evaluation. As I can say that these 7 steps, not we suggest that don't do it with your own. Please make a group or a team. So to solve the problem, this is what we done. Okay, youth work is a kind of gathering people, and leadership is a kind of leadership is not a one thing. So this is teamwork. So leader is a person who, let's say, working together. As far as I remember, as far as I can say that leadership is yes, co-workers are co-working with other team members. Okay. So process of decision making, we said defining the problem. We define the problem, and then so we problem analysis. Then the next step is the next process is generating the possible solution and analyzing the solution, selecting the best solution, and also the planning the next course of action. So this is a circle that, and also the process we need to follow. Then defining the problem. So while defining the problem into problem solving, and also internal and external evaluators, and also as in a youth work or leadership. So you should identify the problem, and you should mention what you want to achieve, and so you should clear the doubts, and everything should be clear, and there should be no doubts about your problem solving and your decision. And the other one, the most important, is the analyze your problem effectively, that so you cannot let's say again come across this problem again. Okay. Analyzing the problem again, so what the current situation, so you have to analyze the current situation, what is happening, what happened, what or who causes this problem. So finding the root cause. Okay, so this is so what something, or what did anything that caused this problem. So this is the current situation. So generating possible solution, so possible alternatives. So we'll try to find our possible alternatives and make a list of them. Okay, and the analyzing the solution, pros and cons. So it's good. So what are the pros and what are the cons of the problem here, and practicality of each alternative. So is it practical that we can implement or not? So we should decide it is practical or not. Okay, and safety, and selecting the best solution is another process, let's say, that we know. So we'll go into the details. The most appropriate solution, and so we should also consider the low cost. So this is about, yes, the budget of the solution. So how big is it? So we'll try to make a low cost or no cost solution if possible. If it costs too much, we'll try to find a kind of, yes, sponsor or the project that we do. As you know, the Erasmus Plus project is a kind of problem solving mechanism. In my presentation, Erasmus Plus is one of the most important the problem solving mechanism, because what is project? Project is something that there is a problem, and so you look for the problems, and you look for the activities that solve the problems. If you look at the application form, this is all the process that you find or to reach a decision or trying to find solution to the problems. So in our project as well, or in another project, if the European Commission doesn't believe that you solve the problem, so they don't give the money. So you get the low cost, this is co-funded project as Erasmus Plus project, and they fund the project. Why they give the money? To solve your problem. Solve the problem. It can be a local problem, it can be a regional problem, it can be a national problem, it can be a international problem. So if you are interested in the projects, especially Erasmus Plus project or any project, yes, project cycle management is a very good technique for the problem solving. Okay, this is I've been working with the projects, okay, since 2004 or 5. Okay, so what I learned that, so if you are good at project cycle management, is the same with the problem solving. If you apply this project cycle management or the project that you have been involved, is a good skill that you can solve any problem that you can face, because these projects, so you involve in the projects many times, or the courses or the meetings, also the training courses. So this is a kind of activity that help solve the problem of the project. Okay, the target. So we got the result, we got the outcomes. Why? To solve our main problem. in our project as well, and in other projects that we have implemented. So please keep in mind, if you are problem solving, keep on project management, project cycle management. Okay. And plan the next course of an action. Plan what you are doing, going to do. Okay. And also draw up the action plan. So let's come back to the project example that I have talked about it. So plan. So in an application form, we have planned everything in details, activities and why, objective of the activities. So we got an overall objectives, and we have got specific objectives, and also the plan, the activity plan, and the webinars, scheduling the webinars, and also project meetings, and also the outputs, intellectual outputs, etc. And so draw up the action plan, avail possible issues in the future. So it's a kind of risk management. So we should take care, or let's say consider the risks in our project or in our problem solving. Okay. Yes, I want to finish my my presentation with a quotes by Robert Schuller. Okay, let's read it. Never cut a tree down in the winter time. Never make a negative decision in the low time. Never make your most important decisions when you are in your worst moods. Wait, be patient. The storm will pass and the spring will come. Okay. Thank you very much for the participation, and thank you very much for the listening. Okay. If you got any question about.
Yes, can you show the quotation once again? I wanted to take
Yeah.
it.
Okay.
Thank you.
Just a second.
Thank you very much.
You're welcome.
So I guess now we are ready for the last part of today's webinar. Yes. Jorge, that should be here. Maybe Glober's is him, but I think I saw another red there in the Glober's profile.
You can see the presentation now?
Yeah.
Yep. Okay. So the topic of this session, as maybe mentioned in the program, is coaching organizational management in horizontal leadership structures, which is a quite long title for also like a complex concept. And that's why I organize all the contents a little bit. Like on one side, I want to talk about what is a horizontal structure. We discussed this in the previous webinar, but maybe some people didn't join, and also give it some credit for where it comes from. Then what is this horizontal leadership that we are hearing lately that much? What to take into account when we are coaching horizontal leadership structures. Process proposal, because on our materials we can see process proposal for a coaching session or coaching process, but not for the horizontal structure. It's more oriented for the leadership in a hierarchical structure. And then I wanted to propose a discussion regarding these concepts that I will be talking about. So first of all is horizontal structures. We are starting to hearing this terminology in business, and we see like Google is having horizontal leadership, and especially coming from the internet and non-presential job places, that these horizontal structures is starting to take place. But I wanted to acknowledge that this kind of power or decision-making process or power sharing, it has been among us while long ago. And it starts from activism, from community organizing. We have the village will organize themselves, neighborhoods will organize themselves, and especially also activists for civil rights, such as the Black Power movement or the feminist movement, are basically working on horizontal structures that they work in assemblies, kind of agoras, and the power is completely shared. And now with this the funny thing, and when it comes to the second, is the horizontal leadership. Because if it's horizontal, how we can have a leadership? It looks like a contradiction by itself. If we go to the root of the words, they are against each other, let's say. Because leadership means that regardless of the style, there's still a hierarchy somehow. Horizontal means that there's no hierarchy among the people participating. So just merging these concepts together are complex. And if we go to the root of horizontal structures as activism, they will tell us that this is not possible, and it's just like a coat of painting for organizations to say that they are more diverse and they integrate the voices of other partners and co-workers and blah 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 blah. But in the end, there's a leadership and there's someone who will take the decisions. In the previous webinar, we talked about this, in our organization, in our youth organizations. We mentioned the need to have this leadership because of expertise, because of experience, because of legal representative, whatever, and how, and the pros and cons of doing it horizontal. The main thing in this, that this horizontal leadership can, as a solo concept, can benefit from, it's the idea is that the sum of experiences that is recognized by each other, no? The people that are part of this organization or this group of people. Informal groups are much more horizontal than organizations, so I want to focus more on that. Or informal groups meaning like assemblies or like neighborhood meetings or things like this, that they're fully horizontal, and we can take example there. Also like to recognize where it comes from, because also it's sometimes swept away by the language and who has the power to name things, that are more like the people with the money. So also to give it back to the owners and the creators of this kind of structures of power. This being said, what to take into account when we are trying to coach such a group? Because it's in comparison to the leadership, that when we are trying to coach is the leader and kind of helping or convincing or whatever, depending on the coaching, that's already a big word by itself. To go towards their goal, their goal, like a one-person goal. When we are talking about horizontal structures, it's much more complicated because there's no one person to lead. It's as the leadership is shared, it's much more complicated to do the coaching, or maybe not complicated, but at least there are other things to take into account that we don't need to focus that much when we are doing coaching to hierarchical leadership. So, for example, we will be doing the coaching for the whole group at once, not only for the leader. And in this group, there will be diverse expertises, different levels of experience in the field. Their values may differ among members, not the main values, but maybe they have the slightest differences, and these differences may create some conflict in the decision-making process or in the taking action moment. Also, the personal individual situation, because normally these horizontal structures are mostly volunteered, and each person has their own situation and their own timing, things at home, things to worry about, their own health, mental health, physical health. And we have also to take into account that this taking action step, that the coaching focus that much is not it's not working at the same level when we are working with a horizontal group. And then for me, it would be one of the most important things to mention is that there are structural unspoken power dynamics. That maybe we are saying, no, this group is horizontal because we all have the same power in the decision-making processes. But then there are structural discriminations, micro discriminations, like we have the white supremacy, but how our features, depending on how our faces, our voices, our language, our not language as if we're working in a foreign language, that it's a thing by itself, but more like the accent of the, or the wording, the terminology that we are able to comprehend and to use properly. And there are gender, there are many structural power dynamics that they are not spoken when we are working together, but they are operating anyway. So as a coach, I think it's very important when we are trying to coach horizontal groups to take this into account in order to try to balance this, even if they are not noticing them, trying to work with it as well. And then the process I propose in comparison to the hierarchical leadership, first of all, it would be when we are coaching a group of horizontal people, like a group of people that are working in the horizontal decision-making process, I would say that there are two things that we can coach about, let's say, because mainly the coaching that we talk about is focused on the aim. That would be the second one, like objective, action-oriented. Like we have an objective of or we coach the leader to find that objective, and then we coach them how to follow, how to get to it. But in horizontal structures, I think there's always also the improvement of management strategies by itself, like the improvement, the interpersonal group dynamics in an organizational way. This being said, the process would be a little bit different because normally we have the trust, the creativity, and the action as part of the leadership, but there's not so much importance given to the communication part. And this is the big difference when working with horizontal groups, because assertiveness and emotional responsibility are super important in assemblies, in agoras, in the kind of the discussions we are doing. If we are aiming to not have a hierarchy, Then we need to develop skills on debating, on defending our ideas, on acknowledge our own emotions. Hello? Some noise there? Yeah, okay. Yeah. Hello, the person who's hello. Yeah, that one would be the step that I would add to the general coaching path. So to work on communication skills, work on emotional responsibility, also to acknowledge what kind of feelings the people are having in order to express them. As this is a long process of this coaching, and whether it is for the organization or an aim, it is not one day session. It's I think it was mentioned before that it's 2, 3, could be up to 1 year process of this coaching. So we need to set the basis of communicating and give the people skills to being able to express themselves in an assertive way, and also to receive this information. That would be the main difference. Another big difference is the trust, because it's not the trust within the leader and the coach, but it's with the coach, of course, but then among the people of the organization, because it's horizontal. So also work on the trust from each other. I remember Antonio, we are hearing you. Yeah, thank you. I remember doing some coaching sessions with an activist organization, a feminist organization from Romania. And the first session was going to the basics of the feminism, and for them to acknowledge that they already have the everything they need to know. But it was very useful, that first session, for the people with less experience or less knowledge about the topic, to acknowledge and respect the people with more knowledge, and on the other hand, for the people with more knowledge, to get that credibility, no? Because normally in these groups, young people arrive like very fast, and we know also this matrix. No, the less we know, the more we think we know, and then when we know more, we think we know less. So working with that, I remember that case. No? The people with more experience were very glad to have this opportunity, but at the same time, they were building something together. So there was these two processes happening at once. They were building trust, they were building the reputation, the openness to learn, the acknowledging what they know, who knows what, and what they don't know, and knowing that other people in the organization, they do have that information, no? So that they don't need to go and do it by themselves. So we are creating this teamwork, this trust among the team, and that's the first step. So not only the trust as a coach, as a client, but also trust among themselves. Otherwise, the organization, we are going to face in further steps much more complications that if we don't take this into account. Of course, the creativity difference on when we are working with creativity with horizontal structures is normally we push the leader to think outside the box in this creativity phase. But when we are working with a group of people that they're like a hive, we have the opportunity, and would be like a challenging, but a very positive point is that we have the chance to think outside the building because we are a hive. We have much more minds feeding each other, no? So, and also bringing the different expertises and the different experiences that I've been mentioning before. So the power that we have to be creative, it could be much more if it's well coached. And then the action, I would say that could be harder to coach these horizontal structures than to hierarchical structures, because the action in hierarchical structures are easy. No? A boss says something or a leader says something and the rest follows. When it's horizontal structures, there's so many opinions, voices, emotions on every step of the action. So it's not just taking one action, but for every step there's going to be some moaning, some excitement, some disagreement, and also that part of the chronology of the coaching sessions will take longer than in a leadership, the hierarchical leadership. And that would be like the main presentation with the concepts. And I would like to ask you, because I know some of you have some experience with purely horizontal organizations, such as it could be a village, it could be, I don't know, this even if you've been you live in a building that you have these meetings maybe once a year or twice a year to decide things for the building, or that this is also a horizontal structure, no, somehow. So more or less, I guess most of you have been part of kind of a horizontal structure, and I would like to ask you how would you coach yourself back then, now that you have the experience to pass through it? So if you would like to say yourself something before, and second thing, something you would say to coach the group itself. So you went through the experience, I repeat, you went through the experience of a horizontal structure. What would you say yourself before this experience, and how would you coach the group, or what would you say to the group in order for it to work better according to you and your experience?
Okay, maybe I can go for that one. Actually, like the one that you refer, like this building with the neighborhood, we've been having it like over the years, like every big decision that has to be done for the building, especially the decisions that they were involving budget and money, they were pretty complicated. And I remember myself, just like the first few sessions, going to the meeting, and always like very the time was there, like, you know, I was always in a rush and always like really impatient, so I was not ready for like listening to everyone, so always looking at the clock and always like, okay, let's take a decision, let's do it fast, let's do it quick, and let's do it cheap. And that was like the feeling in general. There was like, of course, more people that they had more time probably than me, because I was rushed with my family responsibilities, of with my work responsibilities, or sometimes those meetings were late, so I was tired. And which was not the same for all the neighbors. Like some other neighbors that had like plenty of time, there was like this elderly couple that they speak really slowly and they took plenty of time to spread themselves. So basically, what I would say to myself is to be patient, because at the end of the day, even if you rush the decision to happen, that decision is gonna take probably a year, 2 years of like other things to happen, and people might feel uncomfortable, and because you try to rush the whole environment in the building, it was really shitty, because like people was unhappy, because yeah, in a way it was conflicted. They didn't have the time to express themselves, or they weren't heard, or so like it created another conflict besides the previous conflict we had, which it was like, I don't know, let's paint the main, I don't know, door, which was really silly, like a really silly decision. But that decision taken into like, let's say we were a bit like well, trying to be fast and trying to be quick, and it related and it went much worse than it was before. So like I would say, like, be patient, go with time, and even if you think is like the most stupid opinion, everyone has to be heard, and that's the main that I would say to myself. And then the second one, I just don't remember the second one. Can you recall?
If it's if in that setting, it would be if now you have the chance to be this administrator of the building that is somehow coaching the meeting, what would you say to the group?
All right, for that coach, probably we were needed at that time, like some visual or graphics that would help us to lead the conversation. Because if I have like very obviously like separated, like, okay, for example, the neighbor in the first floor is voting this, so you have it written. The other one will closer, like some sort of like a graphic with the decision taking, that might hurt a lot, like help a lot, because in that mess, like you are focuses a lot in the relationship and not in the
Rose.
who's able to give the word to everyone. Because by the time, of course, like there's some people, especially guys, that they were louder and they were much more macho, and they were taking the leadership and they were talking much more, and some other girls that were not. So maybe the leader could have like
Connection. It's me or it's her?
It's her, I think. Because,
Okay.
yeah, to me it's frozen.
Yeah, you froze. You were mentioning about how much space takes. No, maybe some older men talking. That is this is what I've been mentioning here. Not to take into account. Use the structural and spoken power dynamics. No, that they are there, and who voices are more heard to, and also as the previous, because of the social and education, they just have the entitlement to be raised. That's something as well. But yeah, that's a very good everyday example, I think. These neighbors in a building coming together. Yeah, maybe thinking about the examples like this will help us to come back later to the organizations, as in youth organizations. So if I don't know if the rest of the people in the call has some experiences in except other horizontal groups, could be like a students group or something like this, or
Maybe I would mention that in case if you are like a coach or facilitator of the meeting, whatever, to prepare a little bit yourself, meaning to find information about background of the people, that you are going to work with to find decision together. Of course, it depends like on a group. Yes, the bigger the group, the like harder it is, but in general, to understand what you are gonna deal with in order to like better understand the position, because for most probably there will be difficult discussions, difficult situations, even can be around like a small place, but better understanding the people and let's say their reasons to support one of the opinions or the decisions can help to find better solution.
So doing some previous research on the topic.
Yes.
And about the first question of what would you say to yourself before going through that experience, now that you've been to?
Yeah, like to prepare yourself to find to make a research, to understand who are you dealing with, to know background of the people.
Okay.
Yeah, in my case, I think because I've been in several youth organizations like Scouts or some other organization, and I would say to me like don't be so impulsive and study a little bit more of active listening or something like that, because I hadn't these kind of tools, of leadership tools, or just this kind of tools in order to discuss or in order to just to talk with the people properly. So I don't know. I will say like that, like not to be so impulsive and just study a little bit more or read a little bit more of active listening or nonviolent communication.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, as we mentioned as well, no? The communication, it would be like a big part of the coaching program in such groups, and building skills for that kind of communication to happen. That is good that also we can identify this in other moments in our life, because when we think structural, such a big title, management, structural leadership, but when we break it apart, it's there. It's in the building. It's in the neighborhood. It's everywhere. Scouts. And if someone else wants to talk.
I would like to add something if no one else is jumping in.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
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 If nobody else is opposing.
So yeah, actually when I went through all this process, like very horizontal, when the decision is taken, well, it takes time, you get to a decision, but something is sometimes is lacking into the decision taken is what happened next. Okay, let's say, for example, you decide to paint the main building in white. And of course, there's going to happen, there's going to be problems. Okay, so you arrive to the decision with your, I don't know, with the people in your building. And then maybe something goes wrong. The budget goes 100 times over the budget, or there's an accident or something go wrong. And in most of the cases, that decision that is taken individually, but by the group, like what happened in my experience is like everyone is pointing to someone else. It's just like, oh, something went wrong, but there was the leader in charge, and this person who's taking now the responsibility. So like in this horizontal kind of like examples, it has to be horizontal till the end. So of course, like decision is taken, there's going to be some risks, there's going to be some tasks that they of course they're going to be taking. Some things go wrong, and when things go wrong, the responsibility relies on the group. So it means every single individual, because every single individual took the decision. But what I experienced in my life, these kind of decisions, at the end of the day, when something goes wrong, everyone is like, okay, I'm not in charge anymore. Like, I'm not the leader, I'm not the person in charge. And then that responsibility falls into one person, or let's say the board, or let's say like the leaders of that part. So horizontally, the decision taking, yes, but the responsibility is horizontal or not. And that's I've been facing that on my life. Like, even if you try to go to an assembly and go to every single step, and then when everything falls apart, there's only few responsible. So I might say is one of the little things that, if I would be that coach in that moment, when the decision is taken, I will go also through, what if this go wrong? What if this go wrong? This, that, and that. And talk about like what would happen if the responsibility, if something's go wrong, who's responsible? The group or you? I'll be the one. So I don't know if I explain myself.
Yeah. This for me, this would be part of the trust building when I mentioned the not the trust with the coach, but among the people, no, in this structure. So if they become a group, then the responsibility will be feel in the group as well. So I don't know if you can see me and the other people and the presentation.
Yeah, sorry for not responding. Actually, I was actively listening to everyone's opinion. So, in my opinion, leadership is a great quality and it can be implemented, and it requires certain skill set. When you take like from the history in Europe, like Napoleon Bonaparte, like who's a great ruler and a great leader, in my opinion, and the guy is like 5'4", 5'2", and has ruled the entire Europe and like France, and like he was the main character in the entire history of Europe, I would say. And I think leadership qualities, like my friend Naza said, like that in a group, if something happens, nobody wants to take the in charge, and that's true, because nobody wants to take the responsibility, and that is how like we are being treated in the society. Like if someone takes responsibility, he should be a leader actually. And mostly that's how in every family it works. Like the father takes the responsibility, and then the mother goes with the father, and then the children goes with the father, and that depicts a big role in everyone's life. And to some people who doesn't have a strong father, or who doesn't have a strong leader in their family, I think they would have less leadership skills than the person in their life, like who has gone through a lot of leadership skills actually. So I feel like leadership skills also comes to like communication, trust, and all the points that are in the screen, like the action and creativity. But also the most important thing about leadership skills is the responsibility that one takes. So like our father, like if I say a leader, like for the first thing which comes to our mind is a strong person, like who is really strong inside, who really has a strong mind, and who wants to show it, like actually. So sometimes leadership can also be aggressive or impulsive, like one of my friend like Pablo said. So I would also say that is sometimes viewed as something aggressive, because it also comes to each and everyone's perspective of how to handle things, and some handle in a brilliant way and some handle in an aggressive way. So in my opinion, leadership is a very important skill that everyone should learn. And it's just not leadership, it's communication, how to respect people, how to talk with people, how to like engage with an audience, and how to it leadership is not a like single skill. It is a combination of a different lots of skills, and combined together, that can be a very beneficial skill for the society and also for the people around us. Yeah, thank you.
Thank you, Abesh. And this brings me to what the word that I started with, that when we mix the word leadership with the word horizontal, uh, it's controversial by itself, by lexicology, just the terms are opposing by itself. But Avilesh, I know you've currently, or you've been very recently going through a try of horizontal organization with agoras, with role sharing and task division and so on. What would you say to yourself before this process? No, like, what would you say to yourself, like to the Abelis of 2 months ago? What would you say now that you've been through it?
So, yes, the Abhilesh 2 months ago was a kind of who had a strong mind, but who did not experience leadership actually. I was brought up without a strong a masculine figure. My father was working like far away, so he used to come every yearly once to see me. Or I was always with my mother, like who is more not of a leader, who is like under the leader. So I will always wanted to be like the leader in certain position, but I never had the skill set. But I never had like an experience and exposure to how to talk with people and how to lead a group, unless you hold certain responsibility in a particular place, and then like you lead the group and then you do it. That also comes with experience, and this the program that I'm in right now has taught me lots of different things, like how to be responsible and how to be a good leader, like certain like qualities and from different peoples. Like I would say, for example, Sam, he has a lot of leadership qualities because he has been a responsible uh, uh, leader for the whole group, and also he has been like a responsible guy, and I would say that is a huge quality for being a leader, good leader. And also yeah, this program was like a really good one because I've just learned a lot. Like the guy who I was like before 2 months was not so of a good leader, but a guy with strong mindset. And now, since after experiencing a lot of things around me, and after experiencing 2 months of different people and different condition and different circumstances, I would say I could lead a house now. Yeah. Thank you.
Okay, thank you, Avilesh. I think we are running out of time, and I wanted to say the conclusion, but Galia, you're the leader here.
Conclude.
So how we are with timing? You told me like
how many minutes would you need?
I mean, I could do like a short closing, or like a 5 minutes one.
Yes, 5 minutes, perfect.
Yep. Okay. So then let's go back to see our faces. Yes. So we've been mentioning that from what you've been sharing. First, I shared some things from my experience, and which is my expertise as well as an activist and a community organizer. But you also mentioned the patience in an individual level, and doing your research as an individual level as well, and active listening, that you need tools. Like it's not as easy as we have to active listen in each other. Yeah, but we need to learn how to do that. No, so then as a coach, you mentioned maybe some visual representation or some visual statistics of the group management could work, and also as a coach, the part of the communication skills you can be kind of an educator in that sense as well, no? As part of the coaching process for the horizontal group to work, you need and I agree on that you need to become a little bit of an educator on communication and emotional skills in order for the horizontal group to work. And then it was mentioned responsibility till the end. I really like that point. And I would all of you are part of the youth organization, or has been, or are going to be very soon. So now if we are working towards a more horizontal decision-making process in the youth field in general, or in Erasmus Plus particularly. Now that we've been trying to reflect on ourselves in the past and what we've learned, something you would say, like a quote you will hang on the door of your organization that is related to this sharing the power, if something comes to your mind.
I have one. It will be like something like believe in the group power. So because I always like I don't know, I'm unsure of the conclusion that the group can, and I just realized, and I think that you share this kind of experience, that at the end the group is super strong, and with a good leader that can drive them, believing the group power is a good one for me.
Also, it's a good reminder not to overload ourselves, no, to share the responsibility as well. It could be a good motto to hang it in an office. Yeah.
I would say, I would write like everyone has the right to be right. As simple as that. At least to talk about it.
Yeah, there was this philosopher talking about if all the opinions are respectable, and they said, like, if everybody needs to be respected when they are having an opinion, but that doesn't mean that all opinions are respectable. No? This was that this philosopher was saying, but at least we need to respect the right to have an opinion. So yeah. Any other motto, any other quote that comes to your mind that, okay, from now on, yeah, that would be, or that should be a main value of the organization?
I really love, I'm not sure now, is it Erasmus Plus or European Union? It's European Union, united in diversity. Like to be united in diversity and trying to find an unique solution, united solution with diverse approaches.
Yeah. The most diverse is the group, the more creativity we can bring.
Yeah, creativity.
And expertise as well. Yeah. Someone else has a quote? You don't need to. It was just no. For me, I would say this: think outside the building. Like, you don't need to just think outside the box. Just think outside the building. No? Make it broader, make it farther, make it wider. So that would be as well. That would be for me what the horizontal structures can do. That would be from my side. And yeah, I think 5 minutes exactly. So I'm responsible.
He was a perfect speaker.
So if it's okay with everyone, that would be it on horizontal leadership structures management and how to coach them. And thank you for being active at this hour and being here and being interested in this that I am passionate about.
Thank you you two for the amazing presentation and for such a warm discussion. We will publish the video on the platform of the project. I then will send to the participants and to the partners, to everyone, the link. Yes, and it will be together with the videos that are practically done to be edited by participants as well, that were shooted that were made in Turkey. We practically finished the editing. Now as Victoria is editing it and we share flat, I hear voice of Spanish team practically every day because she watches your videos like 20 times a day, the same phrase. Oh, yes. So soon we will send everything together, the webinar and your videos. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Ella.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Thank you. Bye.
Bye-bye.
Thank you very much, guys.
Planned. Okay, so thank you everyone, to each speaker for the contribution and for such proper, interesting, interactive preparations of your part. It was the second and the last webinar of young community organizers. Yes, so the last missing part that we are going to do will be the platform, online platform that will be available to everyone. And yes, there will be also 2 meetings for the partners in Romania and in Italy to meet to discuss the progress of the project, how can we will do it better, about multiplier events, but with an intellectual output. Yes, we are missing now only the platform that's in the process of editing and will be created soon. So thank you all very much for the contribution for today.
Thank you too, Galia. And as you said, like the next step is the meeting in Romania. We already talked with the partners. Most probably we'll do it in Bucharest, because it's gonna be very, very small meeting. Let's say it's editorial meeting. So we will see if we're going to Constanța or staying in Bucharest, but most probably we'll stay in Bucharest, and then we will have the final meeting most probably at the end of February, or let's say half of February. In Italy is the closing one. Like every partner will have 3 people to send, and so we are gonna have like a small celebration here to see the result of the project as well, to evaluate the work that was realized in the last 2 years altogether. So thank you very much, Galia, for the facilitation of this webinar, and to all of you for your great presentation.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you, Galia, for the organization. Okay, thank you very much. You did a great job. Thank you.
I lost Jorge.
Yeah, really. Yeah, it's a really hard job for these kind of webinars.
Okay. Thank you very much.
Bye.